Hello and welcome everyone to Old Gray Bricks. We're so glad you are here. Thanks for joining us today. We have one more guest. We have a limited panel tonight. We have a topic we're going to talk about tonight. But Dana is like, he's like left. I don't know. Where's Dana? Does anybody know where Dana is? I don't know where Dana is. All right. Welcome everybody. Already got some folks watching us over in the side chat. We have Battery Powered Bricks is here. Andrew Sada is here. Kaz Bricks is here. Brett Hoopa is here as well. And we have our panel. We have a new guest here. We'll be talking to him in just a moment. Hope everybody is. Yeah, there he is. I still can't get this right. Anyway, and we have kids in the audience or kids in the room with us. Well, let's start with there's Small Paul. Let's say hey to Small Paul real quick. Hey, Small Paul, how are you? What's up, dude? How are you?
Good. Just for the intro. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you got to be cool in the intro, and then then you're gonna be out. You go chill. You go to slide.
In the intro, only old people, because kids are here too, and I'm.
Oh wow!
Wow.
So you should mouth babes.
That's right. All right, and speaking of our other kid in the room, oh by the way, you kids have bedtimes and we don't. Anyway, I'm sorry. Pink Wheels. Oh, that's weird. Did I just kick her? I did. Sorry. Hit the wrong button. How are y'all?
Are you building?
Yes.
What are you building?
The owl house.
The owl house, the kitchen in the owl house. It's a story about a crazy witch lady.
Nice. That's very cool. Awesome.
She had her first Lego Robotics League meeting today, right? Yeah.
Nice.
We don't have nerdy Lego parents or anything that would put us in that.
No, there's no DNA involved in that or possible nepotism. But anyway.
Nothing like that going on.
Nothing like that at all. That's awesome. I'm glad you are carrying on the robotics. Every time I hear first, it makes me think of the days when we did shows at First Lego League Championships here in Atlanta, and those were fun days. We may have got a Lego employee almost fired, but it's okay.
Was his name Kevin Hinkle?
Nope, that was the guy before Kevin Hinkle, and I'm pretty sure it was not us getting him fired. He was just hanging out with us more than he was supposed to be doing something else, and he bought us lunch, and it may have been one of the things he got busted on. So anyway, we have some more folks. VW Bricks is in the chat. Hello, sir. Nick, by the way, Jason, Nick is as a fan of yours, better looking than Dana. That's what he said there. So you're good. Oh, robotics. And Stever is a hey there, hi there, hello. So good to see you guys here this evening. All right, we will actually go around the room really fast. We're getting our conversation about Lego lighting, which I have zero knowledge of. So, but this is going to be a great conversation here. But let's start back with Pink Wheels. How are you guys this evening?
We're doing well. Like Matt, I've been working on a project I can't show, so I don't have a lot to show. Nope, we're just working on the owl house, which again is a crazy witch lady who is an owl. So here's my start with my overly complex start.
Uh-oh.
Trying to make those Castle Bros cry.
You froze just a little, but you're good.
Okay. Trying to make the Castle Bros cry, you know.
Oh, going after the bros. I got it.
That's it.
That's it. Awesome. All right.
Too much, you know. Oh, hold on. Sorry. She wants to show you a quick kitchen that she's working on for said owl house.
Oh, nice.
All by herself. So.
Very, very good, young lady. I am personally excited to see you back at the Bricks. I was getting worried that you were going into a dark age, and it's too early.
Minecraft.
Yeah, it's too early. Too early to go. Yeah, the cobble wall is very, very cool. All right, let's go to Matt. Matt is next on my list. How are you, Matt?
I'm good. I was partying out some sets that I built, but I bought two of the Avengers sets, and I put the minifigs up for sale. And basically, I expect to sell the minifigs, so I'll get these parts for free for the spaceship. And then I'm also doing this one, which is the green mech giant thingy from the What If series. So the figures actually go for a fair amount, and these two sets were 20% off at the store. And I did the math, and I'm like, I could get the mech for free. So why not?
That's cool.
You know the name of it's right there on the box.
I know, but it's a lot more fun to just call it the green mech thing.
That looks unlike the Hulkbuster, that looks unlike the Ironmonger, that looks unlike the other Hulkbuster, that looks unlike the other Hulkbuster. So yeah,
It's totally unique.
totally unique.
Those Star Wars things, they're all gray, right? They're all gray.
Oh, there it is. There it is right there. Yeah. It's actually a cool mech, though. I'll have to admit. It looks nothing like the thing in the show, but it's still pretty cool. So that suit in the show was really cool, retro Iron Giant, and that is not. So let's let you meet our guest for this evening. This is Jason. He is in our club. How are you, Jason?
I'm doing well. How are y'all doing?
In 27 minutes, tell us about yourself. No, just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're building.
Right now, I am building the very start of the Vespa because Groot needs a ride.
Oh, cool. So you're going to have him ride. I've seen Optimus Prime on the Vespa. I haven't seen Baby Groot.
really? Okay, they might share then. They might have to trade off who's driving.
Oh, I got you. That's cool. That's cool. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you all your likes and everything about the hobby, what you build.
Ooh. Well, it feels like mostly I collect at the present moment. But I like a lot of the ideas stuff, a lot of the just various random things. I don't know if you can see some of the things behind a lot of minifigs and this big bone demon thing I was really taken with, but I don't have a single specialty that I dig into. I just kind of enjoy getting a bunch of sets and maybe modifying them a little bit here and there. I do enjoy short walks on the beach.
Do you like pina coladas getting caught in the rain? I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't think to prepare a speech, unfortunately.
Oh, that's all right. That's quite all right. Nobody else does. But anyway, all right. We're glad you're here. We've got some really cool things to talk with you about one of the awesome things you've built lately and shown off in our club. And also, you took it to did you take it to convention? You took it to.
I have not.
Oh, you have not. Okay.
No.
I got you. And let's go to Mr. Sandlin real fast. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. Small Paul, did you want to do a thing? What are you doing?
Do
He
you
walked
have
off.
a dragon?
You called on us. He does. Small Paul has a dragon of the week. Here you go, buddy.
We made this one. Well, not made. We got this one from the
At Atlanta Brick
Atlanta
Co.
Brick Co.
Yeah.
And well, we sort of upgraded it because it was kind of just a little dinky golden dragon before, not the little one.
Call it lame. Just say it's lame.
It used to be very, very lame, but it's still kind of lame. The jaw is terrible, as you can see. Like, it sucks.
It's one of the ones that had the shooter in it, but we took the shooter out because Small Paul doesn't like the shooters.
Blech.
It's proper parenting. That's what that is.
Tail. Good. But the feet and the legs are, those are awesome. I have to say. That's
Cool deal.
There's really not much about this guy. The horns are a nice touch. I do like the way the head looks. It's just not that the way it moves. The way it moves is stupid.
Yeah.
Is that all one piece? The top of the head?
Yeah, it's got the big molded head thing that
Yeah.
Oh,
we might have to work on that. Maybe we could make it better somehow.
Yeah, make it like a ball joint. That'd be nice.
I don't know, buddy.
If
Maybe
we make
could
it,
work on
if
this.
we can make it a ball joint, that'd be OP. I have two figures that I just made now, and they're pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Are you coming back to talk about these?
This is Peanut Guy. It's a
Oh, cool. Peanut guy.
little top hat.
That's from Crazy Brick, the peanut suit thing.
Yeah, I missed my copy of that. I didn't get over there and get me one. I regret that, but that's awesome.
His eyeball fat.
When did
I just moved it that.
was the peanut guy a Citizen Brick thing? Is that what you're saying?
It's a company called Crazy Bricks.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's where I got the eyeball, and that's where he got the the tiny one, the normal, and the huge head. That's what this thing is, except it's an eyeball. So
That's where I got the. I got the.
The dinosaurs.
The dinosaur guy. Yeah, super cool. Super cool stuff. All right, good deal. Anything you're building, Mr. Sandlin, or anything up with you?
Sort of. The other evening, I was watching a live stream from one of our young friends we had on last week. Cool guy Dom was doing a live stream. He had bought the Adventurers. What do they call it? The Pharaoh's Hidden Tomb or something like that. I can't remember what they called it.
Yeah.
I think it was called Temple of Anubis elsewhere, but in the U.S. it was called something else. Anyway, I have, I think, almost all the parts for the set, so I dug out a bunch of it. Here's the figures from that set.
Nice.
I was going to re-brick it, but I can't quite track down all the little bits. I built the balloon. The balloon is supposed to have 4 little ballasts on it that have old gray blank minifig heads. I'm sure that mine are on a spaceship somewhere. I don't know. And then I built most of the truck, but I'm missing. There's a 1x4 by 2 high arch in black that goes right here on the truck. I probably built that into something too. I don't know. Anyway, I still have all the printed bricks. Look at all these nice.
That's nice stuff right there.
This was back in the late 90s when Lego spent a lot of money on printed stuff.
Yeah. You may have caused Brett Hooper to need a cigarette, by the way. I'm thinking so.
Yeah, Brett Hooper. Anyway, since I dug all this stuff out, I was kind of thinking that, I might just sort of make my own version of the Temple of Anubis or whatever. I might just sort of make a kind of a mock version of it. It'd be fun.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Adventurers is one of those.
Yes, Weaver says Moon Knight.
That's right. Yeah, it's a great series. It was one of those for me. It was kind of something I saw, and every once in a while I'd buy one, going, "Oh, that's pretty cool." But it was not like I got the whole line. I don't think. But now thinking back of it, it was a great IP for. That stuff Brasso's right off. You can just scrub all that off. It'd be good. But it's also just one that it's like I didn't pay that much attention to. It was just one of the. It almost felt generic. It doesn't anymore. I love it. I think it's great stuff. Non-IP based adventures. Temple of Fleabnork. That would actually be cool. You could have him doing the whole face scratch like Indiana Jones in the shot. Then there's a Fleabnork sitting there, and that'd be hilarious.
I have a golden Fleabnork around here somewhere.
I'd say you do have a golden Fleabnork somewhere.
I know where I put him. He's around here somewhere.
Isn't it kind of a rip off of Indiana Jones, though?
It is. It's a riff for sure. But they did the Oriental Adventures, which was great. I think that actually was my favorite of them because it was. Oh, there you go. That's cool. I didn't know that. But it seems like September is all the contests. There's Ship Timber, there's Friendship Timber, which we will talk about. We will talk about next week with Martin and a guest or two, and then. So yeah, there's a bunch of contests in September, which is the month that I have 3 weeks to build of anything. So I am not hitting a ship for Ship Timber. I might hit a Friendship Timber though. Maybe we'll see. Yes, this stream. Moto is here with the dad pun. So thank you very much. All right. So our topic tonight, we'll have a conversation about, is one that I am horrible at. I do not really plan well when it comes to a mock. So running wires and planning for lighting and all that kind of stuff, I don't do very well. So it's a layer of challenge that I haven't attacked as much. I have lit up a spaceship before for World of Lights, and literally I took a flashlight and stuck it in the hallway so the light would shine out through the bridge, and it looked like it lit up, and that was okay. And I did some exterior lights to a building at Brick World, and I did make a lighted mock, I guess, with a party light and everything. So it's not my expertise, but
hey, but it looks good. It looks good.
I appreciate that. But Jason and our lug he's going to be showing us some stuff here in a minute. Did amazing, an amazing mock, and our thing. We're going to talk about that.
Natalie's saying goodnight.
Good night. Good night. Good night. That's true. It should start during summer vacation. But so Mark did a very, very, very good job, and it was a last minute. So the thing we're going to talk about is lighting can be something really easy to pull off and still be impressive. It can also be something super complicated that is also super impressive. But lighting itself of a mock is something fairly new. And I guess maybe that's where we'll start. What was my first experience of lighting a mock is here we're having a World of what? Lights? Who puts lights in their stuff? So that's only been like 5 years ago that in my radar, I guess. So lighting mocks for you guys, tell me the history, what you know, how you connected with it. Just open the floor.
I would say for me, going to Brick Fair, Alabama, and they had the World of Light, I was kind of honestly like, oh, ho hum, they're going to turn the lights down. And it's going to be like a couple little things. But I stuck around. Dana was all gung-ho about seeing the stuff, and they turned the lights down, and there weren't a ton of people at that first one that had lit up the displays, but there were several that were very impressive, and it honestly opened my eyes to the potential if you put some, planning and thought into just, how things could really be transformed in darkness with selective lighting. And so that was kind of eye-opening and got me thinking, maybe someday I'll light something.
Okay, the pun is there. I gotta say it. You saw the light, and I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Now, if I ever understand correct, though,
no. I was blinded by the...
that scene from the Blues Brothers where the shaft of light comes in. Anyway. So, but if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, World of Lights actually started at Brick World and Brick Fair, that they kind of copied that. Is that correct? Does anybody know? I think that's the case. That's what I heard, that it was like a big thing at Brick World, and then they're like, oh, let's do this at Brick Fair and everything like that. So
the Brick Fair thing, Todd told me, was a liability potentially, and he had to poke his sites to let him do it. Like he had to leave a certain amount of the emergency lights on. But yeah, since it had never been done at the facilities, he was going at like a little prodding on his side to do.
So the concern was that the venue would be too dark to be safe.
I think that's correct.
Huh.
Yeah.
I remember the first one I had something with some like sparkly welding things going on. The first thing I ever actually lit, I actually borrowed a set of lights. So I did it like at the con, some blinky lights. It looked like welders on a spaceship thing. And it was really impressive. I had the ship lit up with a flashlight. And when they turned the World of Lights on, there's a shaft of an emergency light shining straight down on my spaceship. And nothing. I mean, it was not as cool as it could have been. It looked better in the light than it did where everything's dark and this really goofy, gooey light is on top of it or whatever. So, but other than that, I don't plan ahead that much. But do you really have to plan ahead to light a mock?
Yes and no, I think. I mean, I personally, I haven't done a lot of mocks. I've just done modifications. So, of course, I'm going to say that there isn't a lot of planning ahead because it's been, I'm going to tear this down and insert things here. But then for the Starry Night, I did need to do some planning because I didn't want to see any of it. And I didn't want to use initially I bought some of the lights that are, made for Lego. The Light My Bricks brand specifically is what I had grabbed a bunch of, or a small handful of. And it was going to be way more lights and way more expensive than I wanted to do, but I really wanted to light up that set because a Starry Night to me really needs some light. And so I wanted to plan how I could get essentially a Christmas string of lights, just a strand of LEDs instead of a bunch of the other lights in there. So that one did require a lot of planning, but I can only speak about that one really.
You talking about fairy lights? Is that what you got? The little string of lights there?
Yeah, this is literally just the LED, the little LED lights on a string. They're just small enough that it's just the cable, and it can you can actually fit them just barely through like some headlight bricks, so that if you want it to stick out somewhere, you can actually run the light through it.
I gotcha.
Do you fold it over? Is that what you do?
Yeah, so what I did here is I just folded it in half, and then I was able to actually run it through the front. Normally I get my tweezers involved for something like that, but yeah. But all in effect, you can get them to stick out like this, and then you have a light that you can place kind of wherever on a $5 strand,
Nice. The man has tools, by the way, guys. Did you see that? He's got tools. So
Do you have a rubber mallet?
So I actually come from lighting. Like I went to school for theater and did light design and did photography for a while before I really got into Lego. And so from starting Lego, I wanted to do more light in things anyway. It was just a matter of finding the right sets to add them to,
Oh, okay, that's cool. So you came. Did you start with Lego first, or did you come to Lego late? We didn't talk about that part.
Yeah, I didn't. I think the first Lego set that I built was probably now about 7 years ago.
Oh wow,
maybe 6 or 7, something like that. It was probably about 2014, 15ish, I think. Whenever it was just late enough to miss getting Monster Fighters on the shelves. Because that was the first series that I was like, oh, I cannot believe I missed this. I need these.
That's cool.
Yes.
Our friend there.
That's all I knew of as a light.
Oh, what is it?
Lego. Just the little light brick. That was my first. How can I light up some Lego? Oh, I can use these. Okay, great. What else can I do?
Cool. Yeah, Stever actually mentions Rob Hendricks, and when I said that, my first experience, then my brain went back. No. First experience with lighting up Lego is Rob Hendricks and Brick Modder, or as we used to call him, Brick Murderer, because he was one of the first guys who would drill into a brick and stick a light in it. And Lego at the time had made the attempt of making figs with light up lightsabers, or at least some of that, and it was the figs that the battery was in there. And literally Lego said, yeah, that battery's going to die. Sorry, you can't get it back out, which was terrible. That was a huge mistake on Lego's part. In fact, some of the first light up bricks were the same way. They made that different, if I'm correct.
This you can unscrew this.
Yes.
And get in so that you can replace the batteries when they do die, and they will.
Yeah, but at old Brick Fair and stuff, Rob would be sitting there at his little table, his little pile of evil as he's drilling into figures, but he would make light up lightsabers for minifigs. And he also has Life Lights. That was one of the first companies that sold packs of lights and stuff like that. Really cool stuff and everything. So anyway, so Jason, let's see your Starry Night. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What was that?
The fairy lights are a favorite of mine, and they're on for like $10, and they will go in between bricks really well.
Yeah.
To me, they're like a light kit for any Lego person with
You're cutting out.
You're
Am I
cutting out
cutting
there,
out or
Mary.
is she cutting out?
Yeah, she's cutting out a little
Sorry.
bit. You're frozen at the moment.
Yeah, I added something.
If only you had engineers at your house.
Only. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I added something to the album I sent you, Chris. When Boone had his Imperial March contest,
Yeah.
I knew I had to light it because I wanted to do an Imperial office with all those
Let me see if I can find that. Hang on.
And she's frozen.
Is she... Can I refresh this? Let me share what she's talking about here. There it is. Let's see. Let me share this. This is what she's talking about here. Yeah. So cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that is from Rebels, Imperial office there. I love that thing.
That is Grand Admiral Thrawn's office.
Ah,
Yeah.
The carpet really brings the room together.
I love that she has the statue or has the piece of art there. So good, but the lighting of that is really good.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and let me go ahead and scroll through some of these pictures.
of
Meredith.
Fairylight.
I'm sorry, what was that, Meredith?
That was $1.50 of fairy lights. That's it.
Wow.
That's all you need.
Yep.
$1.50 and you lit that thing up. Wow.
Are you getting that at
$1.50.
Walmart? At it, Michael's.
Amazon.
Whoever has
Amazon.
that
It's a
there.
box. You get a box in it.
Okay. Good to know.
That's awesome. All right.
And they're
Let's
so
see. I'm
thin.
gonna go.
I mean, again, they're not perfect, but they're so cheap and they're so thin. It makes them really versatile.
Yeah. All right. So let me just go through your stuff here, Meredith. This is your Moon Sailor Moon Castle. What's lighting that up?
$37 of Amazon Chinese LEDs. That's it.
I love how you have the national origin of your LEDs. That's great. But
Well,
that's
let's
awesome.
just say
You have
it says, do you want to join our Wi-Fi and have this Wi-Fi on your phone? And you're like, no. But literally,
No.
there
How
is
about-
tons of. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, that's cool. Even in regular light, that lighting does add effect and color, which is amazing. So tell us about this really fast.
Okay.
Still there?
What I'm curious about the lavender light in the Sailor Moon, was that adjustable or did it come that way? That's a really interesting shade.
Or is it a white light and it's getting color from the bricks around it?
Possible.
It may be. She's totally frozen though, I think. In mid beverage, by the way. Look at that. Mid.
I need to go to a 12-step program if it keeps that.
Anyway, so let me pop that back in there. These are great. Go switch through these, and the GBC module that they did. These are amazing. Let me run this video if it's here. So good. Those figs lit from behind are great, or underneath. Yeah, and then the GBC module with the black light and glow in the dark ball, which is super cool. Super amazing. So good. Oh, looks like we lost her. And let me turn that off. So, yeah, amazing. So it doesn't take a lot of expenditure to add this effect to what's going on. So, Jason, why don't you show us your Starry Night, and let's talk about that real fast.
All right. So hopefully I dimmed the lights here enough that you can see it without. So, of course, it's as it is. It's just normal, and I did add the TARDIS in there because it belongs.
Yes.
But then I reworked it so that every one of the stars and the moon could both have lights in them.
That's fantastic.
It looks very impressionist because it's blurring a little bit, but
Yeah, I don't know why it won't focus. Is it because my
The
face is
internet
there?
and it's live. That's what it is.
If I hide on this side, does it focus?
Well, it looks
Nope.
like your internet's maybe pixeling out some.
Yeah, maybe.
maybe it's not a camera issue.
Maybe it just doesn't know how to deal with it. Oh yeah,
Ooh,
it just didn't know how
better.
to deal with it. So underneath all of these, I actually have the lights. So I'm taking off a couple of these. And we put the pieces here. I actually have the lights strung through the wall,
Oh, okay.
where I actually took the wall apart. And if you've built this before, you know that it's got a bunch of these snot pieces that kind of are where all of the stars are. And
Yes.
I marked out where all of those were so that I could put these Technic pieces instead, so that I could run the light through and into a little headlight brick to give it a little bit more light spread.
Oh, cool.
And then just taped up all of these are all lights that are on the back side that I just didn't want to be glowing visibly. So I just put tape on those to block them off, but they're the rest of the light strand.
That's amazing. That's totally amazing. I would have.
And then in the area underneath here, I built a little home for the power block for the battery pack and controller. So I can just slide it out and turn things on, or if I want to change it to one of the flicker settings or something like that, or when I need to change batteries, I can actually do that.
Oh, cool. So access to your battery pack is easy, correct? That's another
Yeah.
thing you have to pre-plan that I don't do very well. So
Yes, that is a must because your batteries will die if you're making use of it. Oh, and I also swapped out, you might not notice too well, but I've swapped out some of the elements. All of these have kind of a stud element in the original design, and I swapped out a lot of them for translucent pieces just to try to get a little bit more glow from them.
cool.
How do you feel that it's still stable, or did you have to sacrifice any stability, or is it you're pretty happy?
Oh no, I think it's 100% stable. Like I took pains to work out what exactly the spacing is, so that I could still have a full wall built, but with these bricks in place instead of with the snot plates. So it's all 100% built the way that it normally would be, except where I had to allow some like swap out for things with holes in them.
Cool. But like I said, for me as a mock builder, I'm just trying to get the bricks in there. Then I have to go back and rethink where the heck are the lights going to go. And so you reverse engineered that creation and did an amazing job.
And I did build it first. Like I built the whole thing before working out how I was going to put the lights in it. So it wasn't like I pre-planned it from the get-go. It was, I put it all together. I decided where I wanted to put the TARDIS, which is not where it is now because I actually changed that to a more stable location after building. But I did decide only after having built the whole thing how I could get it all to fit and how I could get it all planned out.
Okay.
But you're the guy who also does very elaborate interiors of your spaceship. So if you could plan that interior, which is not
Yep.
visible, you could, if you wrapped your head around it, you could pre-plan, or as you're building it, you could say, oh, I want to light this, especially your ships. I mean, if you had some of the panels off and you want to light up the interior spaces for one of these night things, people could go around and be like, oh, look, there's these Mayfigs and they're inside here and they're whatever, they're in the mess hall or they're in the sick bay, and part of it's just planning it, getting it in your head, I think.
You think I plan things? That's the thing. I don't plan things. But now I will say the when I built the Atlas, the big ship that I built, I realized that halfway through it, but then I want to get it done. It's a mistake not to have lights in here, and I did research, just trying to find basically some brick. I want to do some sort of brick light that would just a brick that would you'd stick up at the top. You have it wired, and you could light it and everything. And those things didn't exist except being really expensive. But now, even if you bought a lighting kit for a set, that people make aftermarket, you could just adjust that and stick light in there. It doesn't have to be regularly spaced. It will light up the interior of the model.
And it doesn't have to. I mean, you can use any kind of light. Like I want to show this. I just have pictures because I already tore down the light part. But this is a set where I actually built with some translucent pieces. I built it so that a light is actually shining up underneath, and it's actually shining through some translucent pieces to project color onto the wall. And it's just with that little cube light. I don't remember if it's a LumiCube or a Litro or something, but it's just a small little cube light that I fit inside that box, and then it will actually. Let's see if it gets close enough, it'll focus.
See, this makes me want to build a building. I have an album on Pinterest of just buildings that I think are interesting to look at, and one of them is an ice rink in some Scandinavian country, and it has these like asymmetrical shapes, and then behind it, the windows are different colored glass. And I would love to build something like that, and like have the light coming out of the interior for one of these things where you'd walk around and you'd get that mixture of light. Or even if you did like 2 layers of the translucent bricks. So you might have some where, you've got a green one on top of a, yellow one. I'd be kind of interested to play around with the filtering, what the light is like. And maybe double stacking them wouldn't work. I don't know, because I've never tried it, but
it would, but yeah, it'll be subtractive lighting though. So it might throw you for a loop if you're used to painting pigments and adding colors.
Yeah.
But it would work.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Mark, you lit a very, very, very fine mock at Brick World. You, a little bit like me, did not plan lighting into your creation. However, it came up brilliant. So I don't know. You have pictures of it on what you're adding to the stream here, or
just give me 1 second because I was on a different photo.
I gotcha.
But I do. Okay.
There he is. That is amazing.
That is my City of Lanterns. Let me see if I can make this. Whoops. No, I was trying to hide.
Look at you listening to something. I didn't know what that was.
no Japanese anime ladies, please.
There we go. That's a little bit bigger.
That's awesome. So talk to us about it and your process here.
This was not a process. This was a total last minute thing where we were going to Brick World and somebody said, "Oh yeah, World of Lights." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that would be fun, but I didn't plan on lights." Fortunately, all those little buildings in the City of Lanterns are open in the back. So I think the first day we were there, we went to Walmart and I bought a super cheap strand of white Christmas lights. And I also bought a strand of fairy lights. And I crammed the Christmas lights into the back of it. So you can see the brighter lights up in the top of it. There are Christmas lights that were shoved in the back of all of these buildings. And then the lights that you can see down here lighting up the sort of street level, that's where I put the fairy lights. I ran the fairy lights along the train track down in the front.
It's amazing. It honestly, it looks like it's originally a part of it. You don't notice where the bulbs are and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty amazing.
The other thing that, looking at the picture, it looks like, for example, where the stair steps are on the bottom, it really looks like the light is shining directly down on the steps. The steps look very, they look like they're in very sharp relief with the way the light's hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
That's because there's one fairy light right behind that little street lamp right there.
Okay.
So there is actually a light right there that's pretty much shining in that little nook.
Okay. Well, I think
Is
it looks
that- Yeah, is it purposeful or is that, oh, that looks good. Happy accident. Move on.
That's where when I was taking the fairy lights and going along, all those little lanterns that are under the train track there, I basically tried to twist the wire around and get a light behind each one of those lanterns. And when I got to right there where the stairs are, you can see in the photo, you can see the wire. You can see where the wire went over to that lamp and then brought the wire down. And then I stuck a couple of fairy lights. I think I strung it behind the little tea shop, and I got a fairy light behind each one of the lanterns that was on the little tea garden there. And then I brought the wire back to the train tracks to get it behind that next lantern that was hanging there under the train tracks.
And, you know, as you're saying that, those wires, I would almost be all OCD and say, I can't believe you can see the wires. I don't see the wires. You don't see them when it's lit up, though. That's pretty darn amazing.
especially in a dark room. So, you know, like the lights are draw your eye, and you tend not to see those little wires.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that would be one of the worries I would have. All this that I need to shove in. Everybody's going to say, "Oh, look, there's the wires," but you don't notice it, especially when it gets lit up, or it looks like it's part of the thing, which is pretty cool.
And I'll show you. I'll show you one more. This is why I modify existing things instead of make mocks. This was actually the first mock that I did with pieces I had back in the day with lights, and it's a little minifigure display that I put some also LEDs in.
It's super cool, man.
Does not want to focus.
So let me ask you this, Jason. Your background with theater, lighting, and photography, do you have any suggestions or tips for anyone who might be watching, or someone who's an idiot like me, doesn't know anything about lighting? Like what might I want to pay attention to or think about?
Well, I mean, it depends on what it is that you want to do. Obviously, one of the key things you always want to think about is heat. Lights can get very warm, especially depending on what type of light they are. These LEDs, fortunately, they're usually low enough like power that they don't put out a whole lot of heat, and you can leave them on for a while and they're not going to melt any bricks or anything. But you know, if you do have some hot spotlight or like that cube light that I was talking about, that thing gets really hot. And so I had to make sure that it had some ventilation. This is the box that I made just for holding that light. And it would basically just sit inside facing out this way. But I had to make sure there were some vents on there. I wouldn't run it for more than, 20 minutes or something at a time, maybe as long as an hour, but by then it'd probably be a little too warm. But you could definitely melt some. Well, I don't know if you'd necessarily melt it. I don't know what the melting point of Lego is.
Let's find out.
Oh, somebody's got to know. I mean, somebody in
find
the chat's got to know.
Hey, you know what? I saw a TikTok video the other day where somebody had photos of they had bought that new Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter, and they said they were cleaning their room and they set it on top of their lamp, and the edge of it sat on top of, like, touched the light bulb as it sat up there, and they forgot to go and get it back off of there and left it for like hours. So the side of it melted. It did melt.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it did.
And at the very least, if you're moving something, you're going to get burned long before the Lego does anyway. I do know that much. So you may very well go to move something and drop it because it's too hot. You weren't expecting it to be so hot.
My superpower is my asbestos fingers.
Yeah. And as I said, keep your battery and whatever controllers you have, make sure they're handy. Give yourself a little panel, give yourself a little box, give yourself something that you can access, because nothing is more frustrating than having to tear half of it apart just so that you can access the power pack.
Okay.
In the mock I did with the light, the power station I did for Moonbase, which I had to borrow a leg off of it to put the fin on a Buzz Lightyear ship. So I don't know if it's coming back together, but the thing about it is both of the lights I used in it were plugged, like, regular outlet plug cords, and trying to bend one of those cords puts a lot of pressure on brick. And so if you're not careful, it'll pop a brick easy. And so pre-planning those cords, and those are thick cords, up into basically the tower that I built for that to sit on top, and then to have that light set level, because I was just letting gravity hold it there, was a pain in the butt, because if it wasn't right, you had to tear down a whole wall and readjust that the thing in there. So it does take a lot of planning. It's amazing though that just $1.50 strand of lights or a little bit of planning will go. I hate that we lost Pink Wheels, because she learned to solder to do a lot of the stuff that she did in some of her buildings. She learned to solder and solder lights together and everything like that. What you got there, dude?
So this is a little size comparison. So this is, I mentioned how I bought a couple of the Light My Bricks brand things. This is the strand, the actual size of the wire for the fairy lights that I was using, and that the light that came from Light My Bricks. And you can see there is a notable difference in thickness. It's not huge, but it is notable as far as trying to fit them in between bricks. This brand here will actually fit a lot better in between bricks, but this is very, very close and far better than some of these earlier ones that I bought that are, let's see. Well, like this old set here has a lot thicker cable that doesn't go together quite as well.
Okay.
Plus, it has these wonderful ghosties just kind of hanging out. Hard to hide, but fun to place around, like a Scooby-Doo mansion or something.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, the size of the cable makes a big difference, both as far as how it will fit among the bricks, but also how easily broken it is. Like, you can, if you mess around with this too much, you're going to be buying a replacement, because you're going to break one of those lines.
Yeah. So has anybody bought a actual second aftermarket lighting kit? I mean, I know kind of what you're talking about there.
That's what this is. Sorry. So this right here is a 4 LEDs and a little disc battery pack, and it's got a little, I guess just a board, for a switchboard kind of, for plugging in both the power pack and the LEDs themselves. And then this kit actually also came with a couple of pieces that are specifically made with plates as well, so you can set them in a plate and actually like stick them, tape them essentially into the plate, so that you could more easily set it into your, like, it would actually sit like this at the underside of the plate.
Oh, okay.
And then can be stuck in like the underside of your ceiling or something in a building. So I mean,
yeah,
they're
that's
really
what I was going to do in a spaceship. That was when I put that on the roof, and that wasn't around at the time. So
and they are really handy, but they're also, it's I think this was a $30 kit compared to a $5 strand of lights.
Yeah, they're not cheap. I saw that somebody has made a strand of lights to light up the Galaxy Explorer, and to light the interior, light the engines underneath, and it's like $50 for that set of lights. That's half the price of the thing. I don't think every kit is that expensive versus the set, but it may be. I don't know.
but it is. I mean, these are a lot easier for people to fit in because they are specifically made to go in between bricks to run up alongside things. You know, you don't have to necessarily use Technic bricks or something like that.
There you go. Light my bricks. See, if they went fit between the bricks and I noticed there was a brick gap, even the slightest one, it would bother me. I would have to mash, and I can't stand it. I mean, I have to mash my bricks down. I can't stand it. It just drives me.
I also picked up some of these that I haven't actually plugged in and tried yet, but they're a USB driven kit that just has, like, I think it's four 4x1 plates that all have LEDs in them, all driven off of a USB.
And it lights from the bottom of the brick or the plate.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Matter of fact, do I have a USB port here?
I bought these when they were on a sale, and I have not installed them. So I have the Ninjago City, the Ninjago Dock, and the Ferris wheel. And one of these days, I just need to do it. And you kind of have to disassemble it, which is one of the reasons that I've held off on installing it. But these are not cheap. Even though I got them on sale, they cost a pretty penny. More than $50.
There we go. So these are decently bright. It looks like it's got 3 LEDs per 1x4. It's always on when it's plugged in, but I've just got the USB plugged in over here, and yeah.
See, that's what I need for ship interiors right there. I just need general lighting to light up the inside. So that's pretty amazing. That's pretty cool.
Chris, one thing that occurred to me is, have you seen anybody take the Saturn V space shuttle and do the thing where it's lit from below, like when they do a night launch and there'd be like these spotlights coming up? I think that might look interesting. I personally have never seen that, but maybe tried that.
I haven't. I have seen some guy have it like his Saturn V mounted on a clear stand, and then he's added a lot of cotton batting and stuff, and then has red and yellow lights lit up, and it looks like engine exhaust, and that's pretty darn impressive. I mean, it's one of those things. I bet it looks a lot better in the photo than it does in real life because your eye, kind of handles that a little bit, but it still looks impressive, no doubt, and everything. That's pretty awesome. So there's simplicity. Ben's Brick Design, welcome. He says you need the gantry with the lights all lit up and all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. And by the way, we do hope Artemis launches Saturday. That's awesome to see that take off. But the other end of the spectrum, these are simple solutions that are quite effective. Cheap lights, couple bucks, and everything. The other end of the spectrum, our friend Stefan, and Stefan's from Alabama, and also Peter at Brick Fair, Alabama, put together this amazing thing. I won't add that to the stream here. I can't remember off the. I mean, I know what it is, but I can't think of it off the top of the head what the name of this city is. What's the project name?
Weren't they calling it New Hashima or something?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
So,
This is completely incredible what these guys have pulled off, and these shots are amazing. But Stefan, if I'm understanding, Peter was telling me that Stefan learned all sorts of electronic gizmo stuff going on there, soldering panels. They found all these panels. And this is amazing. The more zoom you get on it, the more detail you see. He's got moving video walls behind some of this stuff.
Well, and I like the neon piping look, like the yellow bars and the blue off to the right. There looks like
he has some EL wire in there, like that pink wire, and I think the yellow, and there's some EL wire woven into some of these. It's really cool.
So just look at that. That does not look Lego. Mm-hmm. That looks like something movie set to real. That I love that shot. In fact, Mark showed me that shot. I'm like, well, dang, I'm gonna. So I went with my camera and found the exact shot and took a picture of it myself, just because of how impressive that is.
So one of the things that he did for Brick Fair Alabama is he actually put a server inside a building so that it could play a loop of video that plays on a giant screen reminiscent of Blade Runner. and it actually contains some of the same images that you see in the Blade Runner film. So it has the, I don't know, Japanese woman and it's like Coca-Cola, and he has that in
The
a place.
billboard, yeah.
It's impressive.
Here's
And-
this is the sea serpent that the Lego Masters boys built as well.
Yeah, and they add the fog thingy in the mouth of the dragon that gives you a cool effect. I mean, something you see at like Comic-Con, somebody has that in their outfit, little fog and lights like that they've added in. The cool thing is in the base of that, it swirls, those lights move. But that's something they accomplished on the show for the winning model for that. Now, I dare say they would have won if their lights didn't move, honestly, because of how amazing that build is. But that effect that they created of the water moving and stuff, pretty darn impressive, and pretty darn impressive to whatever light system that Lego popped on them, which that's an interesting topic, that Lego used aftermarket lights in their show instead of their own lighting system. But that they were able to accomplish that in-house in the 24 hours of build, get that encased and work, and it not fail on the show. Darn impressive for those boys, I'll be honest.
Has anyone grabbed the lighthouse yet? Because I'm really curious that it apparently includes some piece that is akin to a Fresnel lens.
Okay.
And I would like to get a few of those just to see what I could do with having those as light modifiers for, putting in some build or something. But I'm curious to see how they did that. If it's actually just a clear piece that has the shaping, or if it's got some. Yeah, definitely. The money is a core reason why I don't have it right at the moment.
Well, I think the big mystery for me is how in the world are they going to have that light spin and be powered and move at the same time? Is the battery pack moving with it?
Well,
All that stuff. But I mean, I know the solution is they have the light and it shines up through the middle of the thing and it's reflected by a mirror, which is pretty genius itself.
and the mirror rotates.
With the thing. Yeah. Great. Fantastic, design there. But yeah, that focus and lens, it would be interesting to see how bright that thing is, and everything. So Brick World Chicago. Yeah. Simon, welcome. Good to have you here. In fact, they are making the Cyber City a collab. So people there's a standard, there's a collaboration for what I understand, that people are going to be doing that. I believe Simon Liu, you added to the one that was displayed at Virginia, if I'm not correct, because I saw some Simon Liu-esque style in that city as well. So it's an amazing build and everything. So last thing, what do you think is the magic of what does light do to a mock? What is the magic that light adds?
To me, it brings it to life. It's also light is one of those things that you can use for, like we say, you can use it to change the mood. You can use it to draw focus, and any number of things just by throwing a couple of lights in place.
I would say, as someone who's a fan of lighting, that it helps you suspend disbelief and put yourself in this like other world.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Mark, I mean, Mark's mock example, which is extremely awesome. I've enjoyed watching him build that City of Lanterns. And yes, it was kind of funny because Mark is like, well, crap, mine's called, because we roomed together and I heard the conversation out loud from his head. Well, dang it, mine's called City of Lanterns and I ain't got a light in it. Off to Walmart and everything. So, which is amazing. I actually found some really cool, very small lights to shine up into to highlight the outside of a tower. But that depth of light, the warmth of light, to me, all of a sudden, like your brain goes, wait a minute, that looks real. That's not Lego. That starts to look real. I guess the very contrasting light and dark. You start to lose the lines in the brick and see this what almost looks like a photorealistic kind of creation. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say like one of the things, Chris, that you brought to our local show was that orb that's not Lego, but looks like you called it like your power station. It kind of has that, I forget the name of it, but it has those like kind of looks like electrical currents are going through it. That added so much to your power station. You're just like, ooh, well, that looks cool. That reads power station.
Right. It was kind of supposed to smell a lot like some old school cheesy Star Trek effect too, which it did and everything. So yeah, that's pretty fun. I think I've got an idea how to design that better. But I remember there's a couple of street scenes I saw in the city walking around Brick World, and you take a picture of it, you look at it, and it takes your brain a minute to go, oh wait, no, that's a toy, So there's definitely a level of realism in there. So suggestions, our guests, we'll start with you. Suggestion for folks who want to get into lighting. What's your first step?
Who is you?
You're our new guest. You're our guest.
Right.
Starting with you, Jason.
You use what lights you got. Even just grab, if you have a little flashlight or something, just see what happens when you set the flashlight in different areas, aimed at different points or from different points, through something, over something. See what it does. See if you like the look of it, and if you want to try to recreate it with something else, or maybe even open up a different path to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Anybody else? I mean, a trip to Walmart and panic buy, and hey, I think this will work, and it does. But Mark, to your credit, you spend a lot of time not just shoving them in there to shove them in there. You're like, okay, I got to hide the light a little bit. I got to figure out what this is going to light up. So there's a little skill involved to visually communicating what you want to communicate. Correct?
Yeah, more so with the fairy lights, because the Christmas lights I just shoved in the backs of the buildings, and they could.
Dude, I'm trying to give you more credit than that, man.
it was the Christmas lights I just crammed in the back behind wherever there were windows. But the front of the thing where I had the little fairy lights on the wire, those I very carefully went and tried to put each one behind a clear. The City of Lanterns has these little clear minifig heads that hang from the bottom of the track. So these I tried to make sure a light was behind each one of those to try to, get those to shine. So that was meticulous, trying to run that wire and twist it around and everything. So yeah, part of it was just cram it in there, and part of it was actually taking the time to set it up. So
well, and specifically thinking, why do you want these lights? What is it that you want these lights to do?
Right.
Yeah.
And I will just toss out my experience lighting for Brick World was, I brought some lights. I brought these little twist lights that basically it's like a little bulb, and the battery, you just twist it and it goes on. And I bought another pack where you just like pull this ripcord out and then it stays lit up. And I actually bought them because somebody on this show in year one was talking about how you get these on Amazon for like, I don't know, $15-20. Seemed like a not super expensive thing. And so I brought them, but I'd been busy. I went to dinner and whatever, and I come back and Mark has done all this amazing work. He's all ready to go. And Mark's like, well, aren't you going to light up your pods, your, thing on your tower? And I was like, there's not really time. And he's like, no, there's time. He's like, we'll do it. And I swear that in 15 minutes, he helped me. He's like popping the little lights in each pod. And I'm like trying to put the thing on the very top. And it looked far better than it deserved to for 15 minutes of effort. I was pretty happy with it. I was like, that looked good. And we didn't spend a ton of time. So sometimes just try it, I guess. So you never know.
There you go. Here's hey, lights are out. Big idea right here. Real life smells for Mox. So
I'm a little worried about how that cyberpunk city is going to smell.
Scratch and sniff. That's right. Simon Liu says the best way, the hardest way that works best is how Stefan, who did the bulk of Cyber City, learn electronics, learn to custom wire, learn to solder The guy put all that in there and put amazing bricks together, because even with the lights off, the thing is incredible looking. So he and Pete and everybody who have been a part of that is super amazing. So don't neglect lighting your mocks. Even if you light your shelves, it just adds another dimension to your room. Light does a lot, and so don't neglect that. And it is really nice that the shows now have World of Lights. And honestly, I think it was one of my favorite things. You kind of lose yourself, at least for the safety part. They gave you glow sticks so you wouldn't bump into somebody at the World of Lights, because Chicago, when the lights go out, it is dark in there. The fire marshal must not know about it, but it's really nice and dark in there and super cool. So it becomes a whole nother show when the lights go out and everything. So just remember, light your bricks if you can. There's lots of aftermarket stuff, really great products that you can do. Or just go to Walmart, buy some little plastic ghost on a string, shove them in, and the light will do the work and everything. Any last thoughts before we turn off the topic of lights in here? Oh, see, that was a joke. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Jason, we're glad you're here. You're always welcome. You will be in the we pay up. Brick Dudes knows they pay the fire marshal off in Chicago. You just tell him, hey, Guido's coming to see you if you give us any trouble about the lights. So everybody have a great night tonight. Hope you enjoy it. We actually have a thunderstorm popped up out of here all of a sudden. It's rumbling. So my dog is freaking out upstairs. I got to go take care of that. But everybody, be awesome and build awesome. Good night, everybody.